Chai Blazador. New Arcane Odyssey update.
Man, I really do not feel like playing Arcane Odyssey today. This update's been in the works for quite some time and was being developed during a period of time where Arcane Odyssey's community was starving for content. So much so that when VTEX posted pictures of a boat, people were making videos on it. Let me repeat, people were making videos on content that hadn't even been released yet. So anyways, what did this update even add? It added the new ship, the brig, improved backpack searching so it's more streamlined, made you spawn at Ravenna more often for some reason, added siege weapons, organized ship parts in the menu finally, ship racing now exists, dodge reflexes are unironically the best part of this update in my opinion. High jump teleports now make high agility viable, cargo can now be used to repair your ship in case you get mauled in the ocean, exotic enchants are a thing so you can min-max your build even more, exotic gem, there's 150 new sail patterns for some reason. Filed name changing so you can change your embarrassing name, inventory loadout, game pass, UGC store, new spell scrolls, new technique scrolls, more weapon skills, 21 new color variants to piss colorblind players off even more, added Sovereign Guard which is Elysium, tweaked ammo requirements so muskets are even funnier now, changed luck scaling, weapon stats are consistent when viewed, shot guilds in the kneecaps, deserved if you ask me, some random balancing patches, new weapons, new armor, Am I forgetting any? Oh yeah, and literally the entire Dark Sea. You might be asking at this point in the video, how do I get to the Dark Sea? Well, it's pretty easy. The Dark Sea lurks in the corner and edges of the map, so if you sail too far away, you'll find yourself in the Dark Sea. You can use pretty much any boat in order to travel out to the Dark Sea. However, with the new brig, it's pretty much mandatory in order to travel to the further ranges of the Dark Sea. The Dark Sea consists of magic colossal tornadoes that will fucking spawn on top of you for some reason, gigantic sea monsters, large waves that'll crash into your boat, two new enemy types being Atlanteans and Sirens, and the looming threat of insanity at all times as you travel further out into the Dark Sea. This insanity increases up tiers eventually to tier 5, where you'll be pretty much insta-killed. So what the hell is even the point? I mean, you travel hundreds of thousands of studs out into the middle of nowhere to get shot point blank in the chest and die. You have to be an idiot to make the journey out here. Well, there's loot. The Dark Sea holds some of the best loot that the game has to offer. Some of the best ship materials, brewing reagents, and now even weapons. Let's be honest though, if you're watching my video, you've probably already heard all about these things that have been added, and you just want to know what's really important. The lore. In terms of lore, we have no lore. That's not to sit there and say that we haven't been told anything about the Dark Sea. First off, if you haven't watched my Dark Sea lore video, I recommend watching it. I get way more into detail about the Dark Sea than I probably will here. However, if you don't want to watch it, to basically summarize that video, the Dark Sea is a massive looming force over the Arcane world, and we're not entirely sure about why it exists or how it came about. In this update, we haven't been given any large pieces of evidence or pointers towards the history of the Dark Sea. That is everything except for the epicenter, something that's been teased since traveling to the Myriad to speak with the Growth Curse user Randall ages ago. Now, this isn't a diss at anyone who found the epicenter. Truthfully, they're better than me. I set sail with a friend to find this thing, but was wildly unsuccessful. But we've only really been given Bigfoot quality pieces of media depicting this place. The epicenter is described as a massive desert of obsidian mountains, said to be the origin of the Dark Sea. So whatever happened here, the epicenter is what potentially summoned the hellstorm that is the Dark Sea. Before, we had two major theories for the existence of the Dark Sea. The Dark Sea is a result of Durza and Theos' clash during the Battle of Oberon, where Durza threw a combined assault of every curse and every magic he had ever stolen at Theos. And two, the Dark Sea is a result of Durza's last attack, the Wrath of the Gods that he used against the Peacekeeper during the Cursebeard War. Now, both of these theories have their own backing, and simultaneously their own holes that could possibly be their undoing. Something else I would like to add though to these theories is, what if there's a third one? This theory is perhaps the biggest stretch out of all the lore that I've talked about, thus far. So the epicenter is self-described as a massive stretch of obsidian mountains. In a Reddit post, the person who posted a picture of the epicenter explained that it wasn't quite the size of Ravenna, most likely closer to the size of that of the forest of Ser Nuno. So basically, the epicenter isn't that big, at least not as large as what I'm assuming Oberon was when it was described as quote-unquote large in the official lore document, unless the epicenter just so happens to be the singed remains of that ancient city. So that leaves us with the question of what are some mountainous locations that the Arcane lore has taken place in that the epicenter could have been the result of? That's where I'd like to propose the third theory, Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus is referenced briefly in the story, as obviously being the gathering point and home of most of the gods, most notably Zeus and Prometheus. However, it's strange that after Cursebeard forces Prometheus to make the sea curses that Mount Olympus isn't ever really brought up again. Wouldn't humanity cling to a point where the progenitor of magic once existed? That is, unless after the curses were made or some other catastrophic event happened that burnt Mount Olympus into these obsidian spires and now exists as a horrific reminder of the dangers of magic. Once again, that's all just a theory, but it's still good food for thought when thinking about the Dark Sea, especially when a consistent theme for the Dark Sea seems to be fear the bottomless potential of magic. This theme is even being pushed by hundreds of ghosts you'll find aimlessly roaming these islands. These ghosts are the biggest hints and teasers towards the Arcane lore, many of them reaffirming the story of Prometheus descending upon Ian's cross to bestow magic casting of the soul. However, there's 6 different figures that seem to be brought up by these ghostly entities: Theos, Lord Lancelot, King Arthur, Agraven, the Kingslayer, and King Cross. Now, Theos is a no-brainer. We already know about Theos, the War Phoenix. However, the other 5 we don't quite know. Starting with Lord Lancelot, he's referenced to have access to searing blue flames, which automatically punctures a hole in the previous theory that Warren was the Inferno Curse user. However, another ghost brings up the character Agraven. They speak about how they must warn Lord Lancelot of Agraven, but doesn't exactly elaborate about why they must warn him. Perhaps Warren is still the Inferno Curse user and was given the curse after Lord Lancelot was slain by Agraven. Maybe Lord Lancelot is simply the previous or maybe even first wielder of this curse. However, that might all still be wrong and Lord Lancelot is actually the true wielder of the Inferno Curse and is still alive and well with access to the Inferno Curse. Interestingly, another person being brought up is King Arthur. King Arthur is a figure first mentioned in Welsh poetry. As to why he exists in a mythology based upon Greek writings, I have no fucking clue. Point is that King Arthur was a dominant force in the Arcane realm before, during, and even after the rise and fall of magic when Mount Olympus collapsed. Lord Lancelot is also a member of the Arthurian stories that originate from Britain. Lancelot was a close companion of King Arthur until eventually becoming the king's undoing. As for the final 3, the Kingslayer, King Cross, and Agraven, I don't have much to go off for these individuals. Agraven seems to be just a one-off character that wasn't really explained or hinted at other than that one line. Perhaps the Kingslayer is Lancelot after the conflict with King Arthur arises, if any conflict ever even happened between the two in the first place. Hey gamers, sorry if I sound gross right now. I was just editing this video when I need to get pictures of like Mount Olympus talked about in the lore document to like reinforce the idea that it's not really spoken about much after the curses are made and whatnot. And whilst looking at Mount Olympus, something that I found that was interesting was that as I mentioned earlier, like King Arthur and all that business, Cursebeard, who's like a prominent character throughout the story, his first name is, well, you guessed it, Arthur. This completely blew over my head, and honestly, I'm kind of upset with myself about it because it's not okay. This is all just a theory, but it's like so concrete that literally like I have a hard time believing anyone can literally disprove this theory. So Arthur Cursebeard is a strong force in the arcane world and in the arcane realm. He's first brought up as one of these massive warlords and tyrants, right? When Prometheus descends upon humanity and he begins giving out magic practically for free in trade for Aurum, right? Arthur Cursebeard arises as one of these massive warlord tyrants who pretty much have like endless stashes of Aurum, so much Aurum in fact that he can pretty much overpower Prometheus because of how much magic Prometheus gives to Arthur Cursebeard, right? So you might be going like, how does this guy have all these Aurum resources? Like, is this guy just like an Aurum tycoon legend? Like, what is this all about? Well, it's probably, you know, due to the fact that most likely this King Arthur that has been mentioned before is actually just Arthur Cursebeard. Arthur Cursebeard probably adapted the name of Arthur Cursebeard after he obtained all of these curses, but was probably King Arthur during the War Ages, a period of time that hasn't been fleshed out fully. So the theory eventually just boils down to King Arthur is this large king, right, dominating over the realm, you know, before even the creation of magic, before Prometheus comes around. I'll put up the ghost text saying that he was pretty much just like powerful before magic even came about, right? And then he's King Arthur during the whole magic thing, and magic is coming about, and he probably buys his way with his massive stashes because he's a king. I mean, what else is he gonna do? And then another character mentions the concept of who are we going to pray to now that like Prometheus has fallen, right? Who are we gonna pray to? King Arthur, obviously, in like a mocking tone or whatever, but it shows that King Arthur is still around after the fall of Prometheus, when I feel like most kings and queens probably would have like fallen during this period of time. King Arthur is like still around and is still powerful, probably because that's Arthur Cursebeard we're talking about. That's like, they might be two different characters, but I feel very strongly that it's King Arthur, and then King Arthur forces Prometheus to make the curses, and then he like obviously obtains a bunch of curses and then becomes known as Arthur Cursebeard. Like, it just makes sense, and I'm very annoyed that I didn't catch on to this up until now. So random lore dumping is like, this is really like, typically I have a script in front of me and I have like, you know, my lore voice turned on where I'm like, you know, going slow with it, but like unhinged ranting aside, like I'm upset that I didn't immediately catch on to that. It's a theory, you know, it's never explicitly stated that King Arthur is Arthur Cursebeard, but like, dude, it's not concrete. I'm sure there's a hole that I'm just missing, but like it fits so perfectly. Like, you can't sit there and not think it even for a second, like after I've gone through the trouble of talking about whatever. Anyways, back to the normal video. As for all the people bringing up a voided Arcane Adventures character to explain the title of Kingslayer in the King Cross line given from another ghost and giving it to Torn, it's, I guess, plausible. However, to say I doubt it would be an absolute understatement. For those that don't know, Torn Corvus Cross is a character that's been tossed around by the community and sometimes even joked about by the devs. However, he's not mentioned in the official lore document. Not only that, but VTEX has mentioned that he was just a concept and never really a true character or even really a thing. Perhaps in this update he's had a change of heart, or what I think is much more likely, he's just messing with the lore heads. Closing out this little lore dump, I'm gonna go rapid fire over some of the more interesting topics that I've seen or thought about the Dark Sea. There's a healthy spattering of hints at locations like Athens and Camelodium that I imagine we'll see later, or at least will be talked about for a bit. The Atlanteans made me initially think that we would be traveling to Atlantis. Although Atlantis might be real, they're actually the result of ship crews overexposed to the dark forces of the Dark Sea, roaming together in vicious packs where they cannibalize other Atlanteans. The Sirens are also some of the first mythical creatures that Arcane Odyssey has expanded upon, which is interesting to see. We've also been shown Elysium, which is the paradise where fallen heroes go to live their afterlife in peace. It's currently being used for PvP tournaments and such, but apparently in the future will be used for larger raid bosses. So perhaps we'll eventually meet a few familiar faces there. The Vatrico set closely resembles that of the Acer Order sigil. They're not identical, but it's still something neat that I noticed. And that's pretty much it for the Dark Sea. This update was a bit rough at launch, to say, at the very least. It's still in early access, thus I'll let it slide, but to say the Dark Sea is perfect would be an absolute lie. It does, though, create a strong foundation for the Arcane world to exist on. Only time will tell, though, eventually when we get the Nimbus Sea, but who knows when that will come out.
Hey guys, welcome back.
OBS streams for a mega big stinker.
We should open up with ASMR. Do you ASMR?
This is my laptop mic.
Dude, it's Billy Morris, the legendary poison and glass mage. Jesse, I am 9.
Are you able to take it from the clan bank?
I am.
Jesse, do you love when people donate to the clan?
I don't know if I could say.
Answer the question. Do you love when people donate to the clan?
To my clan, yes.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I've decided that beating people up with my fist is no longer cool. I now shoot people. I can just donate $656 if you'd like.
Okay, well, scrounge up $300 then.
I said if you'd like. If you're not gonna like it, then fuck you.
Well, I would greatly appreciate it. So I don't
beg,
have to. I'm not gonna grovel on my fucking knees for you,
fucking
Meg.
beg. Grah, don't talk to my Pookie Bear like that.
Man, fuck you.
Ah, damn, his soul's trying to beat my ass. Help! I shot him for 100.
Does anyone see the
Unfortunate.
blue whale hitting the fucking Dougie in the distance? Is that just me?
What?
Must be mating season.
Bro, if I see a whale hitting the Dougie, I'm gonna fucking scream.
I need to go farm more of the insane mushrooms so that way I can trip balls and die.
Okay.
This video is sponsored by the Vietnamese slaves I have locked up in my basement.
I
This
don't
video
have
is
any of
sponsored
that.
What if Griffith says he's sorry?
No.
It gives me insanity or something. It's got an awful step.
Bitch!
Shut the fuck up, you took the other one.
You no, I didn't!
Who
See,
did?
I
Jesse,
didn't grab
Who
shit!
did?
I haven't gotten shit!
Jesse, I've got excellent
Good of
news.
a looter.
You fat bitch!
You're just not as good of a looter as I am.
Max, what did that look like on your screen? I'm really curious to know.
I went to grab it, and you run for through me, grab it, and then bolt away. Like I get to see that it says rare food crate. I press E to pick it up, and you dash through me, grab it, and run away. That's why I said because I was barely able to make out food crate. That's why I called you a fat bitch.
Demi got your ass, bud.
I've got insanity now. It goes hard.
It's fucking funny.
I have to.
Oh,
I'm so
oh,
broke.
Drew,
I
Drew,
have
Drew.
to eat fucking pumpkins.
Okay, here's.
What?
Oh shit, is that lore? Give me a second, gamers.
Brother.
It's his obligation. That's his highest viewed video. It's like rock
Oh,
candy.
hold on, guys. I messaged myself.
What did you say?
Nothing.
It's just your home address.
This is the most ridiculous cargo haul I think I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. This shit is so optimized. This took. No wonder it took you like 20 minutes. You stacked it on top of your crewmate.
Jesse, look at this shit. You get over here. Look at this shit, bro. Look at what I get. Look at this poor youthful soldier who just signed up to join the military. He's a fucking chicken. He's dead. He's a chicken nugget on the ground. I turned him into a fucking chicken nugget. He's not even a vegetable. He's a nugget.
Max, you can chill out.
I fucking
Look at this! I just fucking killed him! Like, okay, Max, you can hang out. You can chill out a little bit, man. Like, it's not that.
Discord did not treat the message well.
love shooting people.
You can take a breather now. I could have been a fucking chicken nugget.
Murder!
It's like
I love
bro,
murder!
Deep Walker